Chapter 3: Emancipation of Asia and Africa. Part B: Africa.
Part 1.
Introduction. Africa, with an area of 3,02,77,135 square kilometers, is the second largest continent. The Sahara Desert divides the continent into two parts, North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. Until the 18th century, the continent of Africa lay undiscovered because of its thick forests, vast lakes and deserts. Hence, it was called the unknown continent. But the discovery and exploration of the different parts of the continent by courageous European travelers and the travel accounts written by them made the European nations curious about the African continent. This led to the establishment of colonies there by the European nations. Finally, the Europeans established their rights and control over the poor African natives. Colonization in Africa. Courageous and adventurous European travelers like Mungo Park, Captain Speke, Sir Samuel Baker, David Livingstone, and American newspaper reporter H.M. Stanley discovered different parts of Africa and obtained a lot of information on internal parts of Africa. Stanley published this information in his books Through the Dark Continent and Darkest Africa, which made the European nations curious about Africa. The demand for raw materials for their industries, as well as market for the increased production, diverted the attention of the European nations towards the African continent. They started discovering Africa's vast area and its rich mineral deposits. Soon, there started a competition among the European nations like Belgium, France, England, Germany, Holland, Spain, and others to establish colonies in Africa. One, Belgium. The ambitious and intellectual King Leopold II of Belgium established his own free settlement in the Congo region of Africa and within a short period accumulated huge wealth by exploiting the native people of the region. Later, the Legislative Council of Belgium took the region under its administration and declared it as the Belgium colony. Thus, the first European colony was established in Africa in 1871. Africa was rich in gold and silver mines. So, following Belgium, other European nations began to settle and create colonies in Africa with the intention of selling their products and acquiring raw materials and mineral wealth. Two, Portugal and Spain. The Portuguese established the first permanent colony in the territory of Ghana. They colonized the Angola region on the western coast of southern Africa and set up a new colony named Mozambique on the eastern coast. Spain captured some islands off the Guinea coast and some regions of Morocco and Rio de Oro. 3. Dutch. The Dutch had established a refreshment outpost at Cape Town for sailors on their way to the east. It was later converted into a large colony and taken over by the British. The Dutch established their colonies in Orange Free State and Transvaal too. Four. French. The French created colonies in Senegal and Gabon. The region of northern Congo was also brought under their control. They challenged Portugal and captured Dahomey, a region on the western side of Nigeria. In 1883, Ivory Coast was added to their reign, and Port Novo too was incorporated into the French colony of Dahomey. By 1914, the French brought under their control the regions from the Sahara Desert in North-South Africa to West Ivory Coast up to French Guinea. Five. British. The British established its marketplace for the trade of slaves in Sierra Leone. By 1906, England brought the regions of Cape of Good Hope, Natal, Transvaal, Rhodesia, Orange Free State, Nyassa Land, Zanzibar, Pemba, and Uganda under its control. In 1920, the British established a Union territory by combining the colonies of Cape of Good Hope, Natal, Orange Free State, and Transvaal. Six. Germany. In 1883, the German Chancellor Bismarck established the first German colony in West North Africa through his trade policy. Gustav Nachtigall, a German explorer, was sent to Africa to establish rights over the regions of Togoland, Cameroon, and Angra Pequena through the Treaty of Self-Defense with the King. At the Berlin Conference in 1884-85, Germany was granted rights over the colonies of Southwest Africa, Togoland, and Cameroon. Chapter 3. Emancipation of Asia and Africa. Part B. Africa.
Part 2.
Effects of European imperialism. The democratic European countries supported the local monarchy and exploited the African countries on a large scale. Under the imperialist rule, the entire continent of Africa suffered greatly. As imperialism brought wealth to the European countries, the conditions of the undeveloped and the backward African countries worsened with the decrease in wealth and natural resources. These countries served as only suppliers of raw materials and markets for finished goods for the European nations. As a result, native occupations and industries disappeared. The Africans were forced to accept the European culture and religion. For the Africans living under the European rule, imperialism meant slavery, abuse, poverty, poor living conditions, and little control over their lives. Trade of slaves. Slave trade was one of the reasons for colonialism in Africa. The substantial profits to be gained from the slave trade attracted the Europeans. The slave trade was established as early as the mid-17th century. The Portuguese traders were the first among the Europeans to take African slaves with them to their nation. But in East Africa, the slave trade was well established by the Arabs much before the Europeans arrived on the scene. The imperial European nations established outposts on the African coast where they purchased slaves from the traders. Taking advantage of the backwardness of the Africans, the Europeans encouraged tribal wars, and the prisoners of war were captured as slaves. Trading ships would set sail from Europe with a cargo of manufactured goods to the west coast of Africa. There, these goods would be traded for slaves captured by the traders. Slaves were transported to different markets and sold along with other goods to labor in different plantations, gold and silver mines, crop fields, construction industry, cutting timber for ships, and as well as house servants. With the 18th century age of enlightenment, humanitarian impulse inspired movements to prohibit slave trade. Martin Luther King and many other thinkers dedicated their lives to abolish the slavery system and racial discrimination. A law was passed in America against the inhuman slave trade, and the slaves were released. By establishing their power over the regions of Nyasa land and Uganda, the British completely closed the way for the Arabs to obtain slaves. Slavery is no longer legal anywhere in the world. Decolonization of Africa. As the European powers continued to invade, exploit, and interfere with the African land and culture, the feeling of nationalism grew among the Africans. National integration against the imperial nations took place by the end of the 19th century. The rise of middle class. The imperial powers forced the people of the colonies to accept the Western religion, follow their culture, and speak their language. The imperial nations established schools to impart Western education to the natives so that they could help them in administration. With the boost in Western education, a new middle class was created comprising of lawyers, teachers, traders, and common man. They came in contact with the foreign culture and learnt about the concepts of democracy, nationalism, literacy, and about the general conditions that existed in the European countries. They realized that their distressing conditions of poverty and slavery were the effects of economic, social, and cultural exploitation, and gained confidence to speak up against the imperial rule. The rise of nationalism. The Western education imbibed a spirit of nationalism in the Africans. By the end of the 19th century, various individuals began to lead independence movements and inspired several others to join in the fight for freedom. But the process of decolonization began late in Africa, almost towards the end of the 20th century, due to caste inequalities, division of African societies into many subcastes, weaker national movements, and late introduction of Western education. National movement. Kwame Nkrumah organized the national movement in 1957 and obtained freedom for the Gold Coast, now known as Ghana, colony from the British. Jomo Kenyatta was the leader of the Mau Mau movement in Kenya. He led Kenya to independence in December 1963. Robert Mugabe was the revolutionary hero who organized the Patriotic Front Party and fought against the foreign rule and won independence for Rhodesia, now known as Zimbabwe. African leader Nelson Mandela led a long struggle against colonialism and racial discrimination in South Africa. By the end of the 20th century, all the African colonies had obtained their independence from the imperial rule. Consequences. The national movements in Asia inspired the Africans. They were impressed by Mahatma Gandhi's non-violence movement in Africa. Thus, nationalism spread in the African colonies. The Africans kept themselves abreast with international political events and demanded total freedom. Participation in the Second World War weakened the economy and strength of the imperial nations. England was unable to resist the active national movements against colonialism and released its colonies in Asia and Africa. France, Holland, Portugal, and the other nations tried to spoil the national movements but later were forced to release their colonies under international pressure. Thus, the process of decolonization ended and the dark continent of Africa emerged as a group of politically diverse developing nations.